Rembrandt van Rijn painted the militia company of District 2 under the command of Captain Frans van der Kolk in 1642. It is also known as the shooting company of Frans van der Kolk and Willem van Rutenburg. It's in the Amsterdam Museum, but it's Rijksmuseum most famous painting, a famous Dutch Golden Age painting, The Night Watch. The painting is famous for its size, dramatic use of light and shadow, and motion perception in what would have been a static military group portrait. In 1642, during the Dutch Golden Age, the painting was completed. The eponymous company is led by Captain Frans van der Kolk in black with red sash, and Lieutenant Willem van Rutenburg dressed in yellow with a white sash. Rembrandt uses sunlight and shade to draw attention to the three most important characters: the two men in the center and the woman carrying a chicken in the background. Jan Vischer Cornelissen carries the company's colors behind them. Rembrandt naturally displayed the arquebussier's traditional emblem, with the background woman carrying the main symbols. She's a mascot herself. The chicken claws on her belt signify the cloioniers. The pistol behind the chicken denotes Clover, and she's clutching the militia's goblet. The man in front of her wears an arquebusier's oak leaf helmet. Dead chicken symbolizes a defeated foe. Yellow symbolizes victory. Rembrandt's most renowned picture is actually surprisingly not referred to by its correct name. Night Watch is a daytime scene. Unfortunately, this 18th century title wasn't given by the artist. By then, dirt and varnish had darkened the picture, making it appear to be night. Officers and men of Captain Frans van der Kolk and Lieutenant Wilhelm van Rutenburg is a more accurate title. The Dutch Civic Guard. Rembrandt's Night Watch is a genre of painting particular to the northern Netherlands, with most commissioned in Amsterdam. It is primarily a photo of civic guardsmen who defended their city. As such, they guarded gates, policed streets, put out fires, and maintained city order. They were also crucial for royal parades and other celebrations. Each company had a guild hall and shooting range to practice with longbow, crossbow, or handgun. According to legend, these assembly halls were painted with group pictures of its most renowned members to assert the city's authority and distinctiveness. These images promoted pride and citizenship. Rembrandt was at the height of his career when he painted the Night Watch for the Cloioniers Stolen, which housed the Amsterdam Civic Guard Musketeers. Captain Frans van der Kolk, pictured in front, commanded this company. He wears upper-class black clothes with a white lace collar and a red sash. His rapier and baton indicate his military status. He strides ahead, turns to the left, and extends his free hand to his lieutenant, Willem van Rutenburg. His military role is referenced by the steel gorget around his neck and the foreshortened ceremonial partisan he wields. The names of all 16 portraits are written on the framed shield in the archway. A unique approach. Rembrandt's Night Watch is unique among city guard portraits. Rembrandt animates his portrait instead of using rows of figures. Sitters are the ones who execute their responsibilities as militiamen. Citizens respond to their captain's command with great vigor. The image looks like a historical event, yet it's Rembrandt's brilliant artwork. Men in armor and helmets arm themselves at an imaginary city gate archway. The standard bearer raises the troop banner on the left, while men wield their pikes on the right. A young child with a powder horn sprints off to get more powder to the musketeers. A dog barks at his feet as a drummer taps out a cadence. Rembrandt added extras to animate the scene and referred to the company's larger makeup. Most of these persons are in the background with hidden or partially visible faces. Rembrandt has been recognized as the beret-wearing man behind the helmeted figure next to the standard bearer. Three Musketeers. The most noticeable weapon in the artwork is the Cloioniers musket. 3 of the 5 musketeers are placed behind a captain and lieutenant to demonstrate correct musket handling. Left, a red-clawed musketeer loads his gun with powder. A little figure with an oak leaf helmet fires to the right. The man behind the lieutenant blows off the remaining powder. Rembrandt was likely influenced by historical weaponry manuals while drawing these steps. A golden girl. Most influential is the mystery girl who appears behind the red musketeer. The young girl's blonde hair and gold clothing catch her attention. Her most peculiar feature is the upside-down white chicken on her waistband. This bird's gloss reference the Cloioniers. The cloven ears insignia was a golden claw on a blue background. The girl personifies the corporation and is not real. The myth of Rembrandt's ball. Rembrandt's work evolved after 1642. The few paintings he painted ranged in theme, size, and style. Simultaneously, he began a series of ambitious etchings, including the portrait 1647 of his friend Jan 6 and the 100 guilder print, a gigantic unfinished print of Matthew 19:1-9. Rembrandt's low output between 1643 and 1652 is a career conundrum. Speculations regarding what happened after he finished The Night Watch have contributed to the Rembrandt myth, which says he was misunderstood and forgotten after 1642 and eventually died in poverty. Nevertheless, his art deepened, the story says. Post-1642, Rembrandt became the genuine Rembrandt, at one with himself and a misunderstood genius. The death of Rembrandt's wife Saskia and the rejection of The Night Watch by its commissioners were long thought to be the most crucial events following 1642. Modern art historical study questions the concept of a crisis in 1642 since there is scant proof that The Night Watch was rejected. The painting was bought and displayed as planned, so it wasn't rejected. Rembrandt's sentiments about the deaths of Saskia and 3 of their children are unknown, but they have been idealized in older Rembrandt literature. Premature death was rife in the 17th century. Many women died during or after childbirth, and the disease hit Amsterdam hard. Such comments should be viewed in light of the growth of French classicism, which changed Rembrandt's taste over time. Rembrandt's rigorous realism didn't fit classicism's universalizing, idealizing approach. Von Sandrit judged Rembrandt by the new philosophy in 1675. Adopting Rembrandt's practice, he challenged our rules of art, anatomy, human proportions, and perspective, arguing against the use of antique sculptures, Raphael's draughtsmanship, and the systematic training of young artists, and against the academies, so vital to our profession, asserting that one should rely only on nature and observe no other rules. Rembrandt's critics didn't mean he was underestimated. Amund says Rembrandt was the dominating figure of an older, now old-fashioned group of Dutch painters, according to 1670s commentators. The classicists' blow, which could have been dealt to any painter of his period, all landed on him. How can a dramatic drop in Rembrandt's painting production between 1643 and 1652 be explained in his art? Wasn't criticized until the 1670s. Rembrandt may have realized after painting The Night Watch that he had overstretched his pictorial language over the previous 2 decades. Rembrandt's minimalist works after 1642 show a wide diversity in style. Rembrandt's Holy Family in 1645 is one of his most stunning attempts to change how light works in his paintings. He used 3 light sources, a light reflected from another surface. In this painting, he used bright crimson for Mary's gown, color which he had surrendered to light, suddenly returned usually a bright red, in the middle of some of his pictures, such as Jacob's Blessing in 1656 and the so-called Jewish Bride, see below. Rembrandt's early compositions were generally diagonal according to the principle of concentrated light. Rembrandt seems to have sought the solution to his creative crisis in style grafted upon that of the late Titian, which was only effective from a distance. Rembrandt's use of impasto in his lighter foreground portions contributed to this Titianesque style. His new painting style began around 1645 and flourished in the 1650s. This is Rembrandt's late style. Rembrandt's late brushwork is wider. Sometimes brushstrokes are evident, but the brushwork is exceptional. In Rembrandt's final work, the intensity of observation and artistic execution seems to have grown. Rembrandt's later paintings have livelier brushwork, but the figures are immobile. Despite the lack of gestures in his late work, the image feels vibrant. The figures may seem alive due to the executioner's vibrancy in the open contour treatment's blurring of outlines. The vitality of brushwork in paintings or lines and etchings and drawings leads to the sensation of constant shift. Light plays a different role than in earlier works. Rembrandt's early concern was creating a hierarchy of light intensity in paintings. This logic seems magical in the 1650s and 1660s works. Early works have strong local light effects, whereas later works have light around the figures. The light from Homer's bust in the Aristotle of 1653 seems incongruous The same phenomenon was in Jacob's blessing in 1656 and conspiracy of the Batavians in 1661. The light shining around some figures seemed to be an aura. Comment your views below and subscribe for more.